Please go ahead, Deborah. My apologies, I didn't give you an introduction. It's Sarah Stalker speaking. I know you don't see me on camera this morning. It's my pleasure to welcome our panelists this morning. Deborah Flynn from the Quill Network has been the long time, but now retired executive director of the Quill Network. But thankfully she is still assisting Quill and is presenting this morning. Robin Cook Ritchie will be presenting as well. Robin is the Executive Director of Lawbach Literacy Ontario and manager of the Grand Erie District School Board. We are also assisted by Heather Robinette, who is now Quill's Executive Director, who will be moderating the chat. Over to you, Deborah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this fine Friday morning. I'm really excited about sharing this webinar with you, loading up your resource arsenal. And as you know, Pop-Up PD for Literacy Educators is a free webinar series that is developed and put together by regional networks, sector organizations, and provincial support organizations for literacy. We want to support the LBS practitioners with presentations on topics that are important to them. The English language webinars are presented to LBS practitioners annually since 2015-16, and now COFA is translating many of these webinars. In fact, the last couple of years, they have translated them, and the transcriptions are on the COFA website, and we're really thankful for that. And all of the presentations, recordings, the links, etc., are at the link in this presentation. And if you have any ideas for webinar topic ideas, you can email eChannel at contactnorth.ca. So, today's webinar is based on the results of a survey that we took earlier this year. We received over 100 responses to a survey we circulated, and thank you very much for responding to that. We based the content for all of the webinars that we will be delivering this year on those suggestions. Many of our support organizations will be delivering their own webinars that are not part of Pop-Up PD. So watch for those, because they will be giving you information specific to the field that will help you working with your learners. The list that I am going to be giving you today is not exhaustive. I know that many programs are creating their own materials to support learners online and in their classrooms. So anyone who's here with us today that has a resource that they have created and are willing to share, please put information in the chat function so that we can share that information in a report. So we'll take all the information we receive in chat and we will add it to the resources for this webinar. Okay. I'm not an expert on any of these resources. This information is information that my colleague sent to me, and I did some research on them. You still may need to do your own digging into the resources to find specifics. But this is an opportunity for you to see them, see most of what has been created just last year. Excuse my screen captures. I'm a visual person and I like pictures. And so I took screen captures of the different resources so that you would know what you were looking for when you went, when you search them out. All of the hyperlinks in this webinar are live. And so when you receive the resources, you will be able to click on them and go immediately to the resource. I will start with the resource that was most wanted. And this is one about the orientation for LBS. Simcoe Muskoka Literacy Network, along with other networks. And I wanted to say that most of these resources were created in collaboration with a number of networks and support orgs working together to put them, to make them available to you. But Simcoe Muskoka worked on this one. And it's an orientation is intended as a starting point as you become familiar with various aspects of your job in advance of your orientation meeting with a literacy network or your support org. These modules touch on many different topics, and you will find them on the Literacy Basics website. So although Simcoe Muskoka created it and worked on it, we house it on Literacy Basics because Community Literacy of Ontario has that wonderful resource. So why not put everything in that place? So you will find them there. The modules include acronyms because you know our literacy field has tons of them. Information on being on LBS program administration, literacy service planning, getting to know your support organization, literacy and adult education. A lot of great information for our new managers and program coordinators. Then I broke the rest of the resources into a general topic. So my first topic is skilled trades. This past year, Mid-North Network put together a skilled trades resource compendium. I took some screen captures of the first page because it's in an Excel document. And so you see the screen capture from the first few lines of the English English page and the French and the Francophone page. So we also put it on the Quill Skilled Trades and Apprenticeship Google site. The categories identify in this document identify good practices, resources, and references are sorted in the language of preference, English or French. So you will see there's tabs at the bottom of the Excel sheet that say exploring skilled trades, assessment for readiness, develop essential skills, and then they have other tabs that have all the resources in French and all the resources in English. Presently in this year, they're currently adding a suggested top 10 resource page to the compendium in both languages. They're working on eventually making the document searchable using keywords and descriptions so it'll be easier for you to find them. And they hope to schedule a showcase of the resource and how to use it for different scenarios. They're also looking for testimonials. So if you do go in and use the resource and gather, take information from it, Laurel Martel from Mid-North Network would love to hear from you about what you think about that. Obviously, you can tell I'm reading from notes that I've taken because, like I said, I don't know these things perfectly. Our next one is Lawbach Literacy Ontario. They put together this wonderful program of Get Set for Manufacturing. The training's been developed to be delivered over 12 sessions. There is an optional 13th session where you could invite people in to do like a mock interview by appointment. All the materials are free. You can see here from my screen capture that there's a learner assessment, learner plan template, session PowerPoints, learner workbook, facilitator's notes, and answer keys.
Deborah,
So,
Deborah, it's the
yes.
interpreters. When you read, I just need you to slow down a bit.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Are we good to go to the next one? Yes. Okay. Okay. The next resource is also from Lawbach Literacy Ontario. Get Set for Health Service Support Jobs. And it has similar modules, learner templates, workbooks, facilitator guides. These links will take you right to Lawbach Literacy Ontario's website to gather those. Community Literacy of Ontario has put together some curriculum. They've updated curriculum from Literacy Link Eastern Ontario's curriculum that they had done years ago. And so CLO has updated that. So the warehouse worker and material handler curriculum and the landscaping grounds maintenance worker curriculum are available now on the CLO website. When you go to the website to look at these, you will also see other curriculum pieces that they have worked on in the past. So if you do have someone who's working in these different fields, here's a curriculum that you can use and have it ready, adapted for your use, but it's there. You don't have to go digging and working and researching to find this information. They also this year put together an apprenticeship skilled trades resource with a number of popular resources for learners in that apprenticeship skilled trades goal path. When Premier Ford announced that they would be supporting people going into the personal support worker field, I gathered resources and put them on our skilled trades and apprenticeship Google site. It's a Google site that has resources in it. And we created a section for personal support worker. And there's a curriculum that we've received from other programs that are there, links to it. There's information of how to get other curriculum from another program. They didn't give it to us, but you can ask them for it. So if you need something for someone who might be going into the personal support worker field, there's some information here. So between what you get from Lawbach and what you look at here, it'll be a real benefit. Before I move to the next section, Heather, were there any questions in the chat?
There were, but we've answered them in the chat, so we're good.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Under the employment section, I have this collection of workforce and workplace literacy resources that Literacy Northwest put together. You will also know that they did a pop-up PD webinar last February on this resource. But I thought, you know what? We created it and they created it and it's here for us. So it has a listing of working definitions, there's assessment information, organizational needs assessment, information about soft skills, technology, equipment, apprenticeship, what's available on eChannel. So when you dig into this, there's a number of resources that you will find within it to help you with anyone who's in that employment goal path. Literacy Link South Central created a soft skills assessment tool for manufacturing. They also have a webinar that they did, that Summer Burton did, to show you how to use this assessment tool. They did a lot of research on it, and they asked employers in their area to assist them in creating this. So if you're looking for an assessment tool for and anybody going into manufacturing, this would be a good resource for you to look at. They also created a curriculum, Fabricating the Future, Building Tomorrow's Manufacturing Resource Workforce. And it has a series of 5 modules in it where people learn more about the manufacturing field and what it has to offer. You will see a list here on the screen of the modules. Manufacturing, it's made for you, essentials for manufacturing, and they even have a module for around food processing in this resource that you can get. Now, I told you all the links are live, so when you get the recording of the webinar, you'll get the PowerPoint. It'll be posted on our Pop-Up PD website. Then you can just go in and click on them to find that information and go directly to the resource. Community Literacy of Ontario was really busy last year. And so I pulled out these resources that they worked on, the labor market information. And we hear about labor market information, but how do we use it with our learners, or how do we use it in preparing programming in our programs? So CLO put this together with KESBA to help you. There's a webinar that goes with it, and you can listen to how to do that and how to incorporate it into your programming. This employment resources guide, this is popular resources for employment goals. When I dig through the collection of resources in this, there was a digital skills curriculum in here that KESBA did a couple of years ago that I didn't even know existed. So I would, like, as I said, you have to dig a little deeper, but if you just open up and go through appendix and check to see what's listed in there in the content list, you will be surprised at what has been collected in one place for you that you can then go and look for. And everything is annotated, so you get an idea of what you will be getting when you do go take that next step.
Deb,
Hmm.
there is a question in the chat from Ravina. Do these resources have, sorry, it moved. Do these resources have accessible webinars for the soft skills?
Do they have accessible resources for the soft
No,
skills?
yeah, or webinars for the soft skills.
I'm I'm not sure. Does she? I'm not sure of the question. I went, Ravina, could you just expand that a little bit? Webinars for the soft skills, like, are you asking if we have webinars that you can access that are on soft skills? Heather, maybe you could monitor that and ask.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
will.
Okay, my apologies. Like I said, I'm not I'm not an expert. I'm just sharing information that I know that would be available for you. Also, CLO put together with the provincial support organizations for literacy this poster that you could share with any of your community partners, talking about how skill building is dealt with in the literacy and basic skills field. And how, like, it tells you how many people we served in the year, how many sites there are, and it goes into information about who, what, where, when, and how. So if you're looking for something that you want to share with colleagues or new staff at an employment services or the apprenticeship program, whatever, this might be a really good poster for you to use. Okay. Literacy Link created this is a soft skills curriculum. It's not there is a webinar telling you how to use it, but it really is beneficial in a face-to-face environment. So what Summer Burton did with at Literacy Link South Central was she looked at games, and then she created a curriculum around the games to talk about different soft skills. And she did it with a group of young people, young adults. And so they would look at the game and say, okay, what are you learning here? Problem solving, communication, dealing with conflict. And so she has a full module that when we get back to face to face, this would be a great curriculum to get. You would have to purchase the games that she has listed in the curriculum. But I mean, there's board games, and there's also games that for gamers that you could put on a big screen in your center, and then they could try it out and try it. We play it. And then you talk about what did you learn from that? And there's people who play the games, and then there's observers who watch how people play the games to pick out some of those essential skills, teamwork, communication, etc. I think it'd be really interesting and lots of fun to do. Tri-County Literacy Network was the lead for the LBS networks in the Western region for Growing Your Workforce Conference. And this conference has been going on for 2 years, and Literacy Link South Central, Central South are going to be the lead this year coming up. But what we did last year was we did invite 3 different people to come and speak about local solutions of upskilling, promoting LBS to employers and to other service providers at this conference. Because when it's talking about growing your workforce, we're trying to attract employers who are going to look at how they can grow their workforce and make it sustainable. So this information is, there's a video on local solutions for upskilling. And in hopes to help employers, we put a new tab on the Learning Networks website on Workforce with some basic information about how to get in touch with us if they want to use LBS to, to help some of their employees to improve their skills. So that's from Literacy, Tri-County Literacy Network. Many of you participated in a project that we did on best practices at the Quill Learning Network. It was an in-year business plan deliverable, and it's called We're All in This Together. And it's a list of best practices that our programs are dealing with while they were going through their first year of COVID-19. So how did they deal with getting learning resources to learners? What did you do? How did you help them with accessing internet? So we have all of the information on the Quill website. The nice thing about it is that COFA went and translated all of these tip sheets, and they're in the process of translating the full report for us at this time. So we have the tip sheets. They're in both English and French. They are great pieces of information about what others were doing outside the box to serve learners in an online environment when we couldn't see each other face to face, because LBS is a face-to-face program. So having to work with learners on Zoom and teaching them Zoom, or working on Google Forms and creating documents for them and getting that all in place so that people can continue learning. This is a great resource of all of the best practices that we received from people from across the province. It wasn't just in the Western region. Again, it was a collaboration with CLO, Literacy Link South Central, and Project Read. Literacy Link South Central did a pandemic planning manual, which was larger than what we did with We're All in It Together. And they didn't just work with the LBS programs, they worked with not-for-profit agencies from across the province. So they asked many of us, do you have someone in your community that would be willing to talk to us about how to, and so we can create a resource on pandemic planning. So you will find information about policies and procedures to deal with in case similar issues arise in the future. There it is, available for you. And they also did a webinar to explain everything that's in the resource. So if you wanted to sit and listen to that, it's available. So these links will take you right to those resources. Now I'd like to turn the time over to Robin Cook-Ritchie, who is going to show us this wonderful LBS Resources Forum. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and Robin will bring up her screen and take over for this next bit. Welcome, Robin.
Thank you, Deb. Can you hear me okay?
It's Sarah. Yes, we can.
Okay, great. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we see the website, Robin. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sarah. So,
Robin, before you start.
Sorry, Robin. Robin, I just need to interrupt. They can't see the ASL interpreter.
Okay.
So just give a second.
Absolutely.
Now we can see the interpreter. We can't see Robin. I don't know if that's a necessity.
I don't think you need to see me.
Okay.
As long as I'm sure everybody's fine with that. In fact, I can stop my video just so that nothing goes awry. Okay, you can still see my screen fine?
Yes, we can. It's
okay,
wonderful.
Thank you. So first of all, I would like to thank the Pop-Up PD Committee for inviting me today to talk about this site that we've been working on for now, actually, I think 3 or 4 years. So the Literacy Resources and Discussion Forum site, which you can see on the screen right now, is a site that Lawbach Literacy Ontario and Community Literacy of Ontario has been partnering on for a few years now. This site actually started out as 2 separate discussion forums that we were each hosting. And we came together and thought, why don't we merge them into one site? And then a year later, we thought, wouldn't it be a great idea to try to pull together all of these fantastic resources that are out in the field into one place so that practitioners have a place where they can go and search for resources on one site, as opposed to going to possibly up to 26 different sites across the province, but where all the different networks have their resources. Having said that, this site doesn't represent everything that's out there right now, but that's obviously going to be our goal in the future. There was some discussion earlier in the chat about Copian, and if you've been around in literacy for as long as I have, and many of you probably have, there used to be a national site called Copian where you could submit resources, and it was actually like a database of all the resources that were out there. They were actually defunded in 2015. So nothing's been added to that site since 2015, although you still can search it. It's still live, it's still on the internet, and you can search it. So this is kind of our attempt at trying to pull together resources, especially those that have been developed since 2015, into one place. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is the landing page. If you happen to already have a login for this is where you'll land when you use the URL. It will take you to this page. If you don't have a login, what will happen is, and I'm going to just walk you through the site a little bit, and I'm going to do it slowly. And if you need me to slow down at all, anybody just let me know as I'm doing this. I will try to go slowly. So this is the landing page. If you have a login, you can log in the upper right-hand corner. If you don't have a login at all, and my internet is not working properly. Okay. Best laid plans. It looks like I just lost my internet. So just give me a second here and let me try to reload. Okay, I know you can't see my screen, but can you still hear me okay? I just want to confirm.
It's Sarah.
Yes, we can
hear you.
Okay, I don't know what's happening, but I'm not able to pull the site up. So I'm just going to talk about it. That's fine. What I'm going to say about the site is you can create a login for free. You can also access it as a guest without a login, but you have more features if you create an account and log in, which is free. What we've done is we've organized the resources by different categories to try to help practitioners narrow down what they're looking for. So for example, there's a category for employment resources. We have a category for digital resources, etc.
Robin, would you like me to bring up my screen so that it's on?
It's sure, you can just bring up the screenshot because I'm not going to be able to move around. So I'll stop sharing so that you can do that. Okay. So, and I apologize, this best laid plans, but that's okay. I can speak to the site without kind of taking you on a tour. So like I said, the resources are organized into different categories. Within each of those categories, there's search features. But we also have added a global search button to the site in a very recent upgrade that we did last week. So it gives a few different options to be able to search for resources. To date, we've uploaded approximately 300 resources to the site. Each resource that's in there has an annotation, so it tells you a little bit about the resource, and then there's a link that goes directly to the resource, a live link, or even better, where we uploaded the resource itself to the site so you can download it directly. So it's just to try to make it a little easier for practitioners to find resources overall. We have an explainer video that explains how to do searches in the site, but we've upgraded the site recently, so we have to upgrade the explainer video. And what we'll be doing is we will be putting that explainer video on the landing page of the site once it's been upgraded, or upgraded and put up there. So essentially, I mean, that's it in a snapshot. Does anybody have any questions about the site at all? I'll give you a chance to put them in the chat. What I will say is one of the parameters for us putting things on the site is that the resource is available free. So we don't have anything up there that you would have to pay for. All the resources are available for free and are downloadable, so you can access them quite easily. Of the resources already shared, so one question is, of the resources already shared, are those on the site? So we talked about this when we were doing our prep yesterday, and not all of them are, but many of them are. So each year we're adding more resources to the site. I can tell you, for example, the CLO Employment Resource Guide and the Apprenticeship Guide, we took all of those resources and put them on the site. Anything that Lawbach Literacy Ontario has developed is on the site, and we've gone beyond that. What we're asking is, as people develop resources going forward, we have a form for them to fill out just to make it easier for us to upload to the site, because it gives us all the information, and we're going to continue to build the site. In this current fiscal year, we're focused on adding more resources specifically to marketing and to the administration PD sections. Last year, we focused on employment and apprenticeship. So each year we pick an area to focus on to try to go backwards in time and find resources that are still relevant and useful. But going forward also, we'll be adding things as they're developed, hopefully. And anyways, oh, mine came back up again. So I apologize for that.
Do you want me to stop sharing and let you take us for a minute?
I can try to do that, sure.
Okay.
Because my screen has come back up again. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, I think what's happening is we have lots of thunderstorms all over the province right now, and I'm in a weird place where they're all around me, so it's probably what's creating my issues. So you can see the landing page again. I'm just going to log in quickly to the site. And so this is what I spoke of. If you don't have an account, you're gonna land on this page, and you can create a new account for free. You can also log in as a guest, but I do encourage you to create an account because A, it allows us to collect data on who's accessing the site, and B, you have the ability to search more fully if you're logged in. So I'm gonna log in as actually I have a fake not a fake login, but a practice login that I use so that I know it's going to look the way it looks when you log into the site. So just give me a sec here to log in. Okay, so when you're logged in, of course, this is the landing page. And I'm just going to show you, for example, the employment goal path. I'm going to open that up. So when you're in here, you can view a list of resources that are available. and you can scroll down the page looking at that list, or you can view resources one per page. So this is only going to display one on the page, and then you can go to the next resource simply by moving through them. You can also search. There's a search button. So I'm going to just click on search here, and I'm going to take it off of an advanced search, and I'm going to search for Get Set, which is two of the resources that were shared earlier were in part of the Get Set series. I'm going to save my settings, and you'll see the Get Set resources pop up. So the Get Set for ECE, the Get Set for customer service, the Get Set for health service support, which was in the presentation, and the Get Set for manufacturing pop up. So if you look at the Get Set for manufacturing annotation, it tells you about the resource. We're working on getting some graphics into the site just to make it more visually appealing for people, and so they can, associate with the picture. You'll notice that there's a link at the bottom that will go directly to the site where it's housed, but in this case, it's also housed directly on the site. There's a zip folder with all the materials that you can download directly. So where possible, we're doing that. Where not possible, there will be a URL that will take you to where the resource is housed. So that's just an example of one area where I pulled up a few different resources. If you look in Independence, for example, and you look at view single, if you look in the view, it's going to show you the end number. There's 32 different resources in there currently related to the Independence goal path, for example. So at the very top, you'll see there is a global search button. It's a new feature that we added last week. So we're still ironing out some of the bugs with it, but we wanted the site to be live. But anyways, that's kind of the site in a couple minutes, just to give you an idea.
Robin,
Also,
I wanted to say that I really like that at the very bottom of each of the listings, you have it where it's cross-referenced. Like this one is linked to OALCF. So you can see where it's been cross-referenced and where else it will be found.
correct.
I thought that was great.
Yeah, so it's just, is it connected directly to the OALCF? Was it developed after the OALCF rolled out? So there is a connection built into the resource. We tried to identify that. We also, you'll notice some of them will say link to essential skills, because prior to the OALCF, a lot of resources that were developed were linked specifically to the essential skills, which aren't the essential skills anymore. But that you'll see that at the bottom as well. So the only other thing I want to mention about the site, at the beginning, I did mention that this originally started out as two discussion forums that we merged together into one. So we have maintained a single discussion forum on the site. The focus is really now on the housing and collection and annotation of the resources, but we do have the discussion there. So if you, under forums, there's an open discussion. You can read the discussions. In order to post or just actually participate in a discussion, you do have to make sure that you're logged in. So you have to set up an account and log in. When you use the global search function, it will actually search across the resources, and it will also search through the discussion posts. So that's kind of it. I think that's as much as I can do for an overview right now, and I will, if anybody does have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I don't have the chat up anymore, so.
I'm monitoring the chat, Robin, and a lot of positive comments. It looks great. People want to try it, use it. So those are the kinds of comments that we're getting in the chat right now. So, and yeah, just a comment about where will these slides be posted? They will be posted up on the Pop-Up PD website, and we'll be given more information about that at the end slide.
Okay, well, I want to thank again, thank the Pop-Up PD committee for inviting us on behalf of LLO and CLO to share this out. We're hoping that people use it because we're really trying to make something that makes the lives of the practitioners and administrators easier. We do have a whole section just on administration, professional development, and research as well. So hopefully this is kind of going to become a bit of a go-to place to look for things. And that's not to diminish all the support orgs out there that have their own sites. They will still have all their resources on their sites. That's not what this is meant to replace. It's just meant to make it a little bit easier for people. And also, a lot of programs tend to gravitate to their own particular regional network and sector network. And this just will hopefully make it more accessible for all the great resources that are out there that everybody's developing. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Robin. I love this site. I think it's great that you got it put together. And that's why I thought it was so important for everybody to know. And before Copian, it was National Adult Literacy Database. So I really am aging myself by knowing that. And at one time, years ago, when I first started in literacy, 30 years ago, we used to have a discussion board called AlphaCom. So the fact that you've taken these two ideas and married them into one is a real benefit for our field. So I really like it. And I know that all of us networks still have our resources on our own pages, but it's nice to see that one spot for us to go to find
Deb,
out
can I just say
otherwise.
one more thing that I forgot
Sure.
to say? I
Sure.
am very remiss in saying what I forgot to mention is it's a partnership between LLO and CLO, but it's also a partnership with Contact North, who has provides us with support. They host this site on their servers for us, and they give us tech support updates to the site. So I meant to say that. I apologize. I meant to say that at the beginning because they're a really integral part of making sure this site is supported as well.
You know, Contact North is like the secret friend that all of us have. You know, they're our best neighbor. They're taking care of us in so many ways on the technical side. I mean, they host all of our pop-up PD information on their site, even though it's linked from Learning Networks of Ontario or elsewhere. And I know you have pop-up PD information on your site also. So yes, we have to congratulate them for being that behind the scenes person group that is really supporting us in so many of our endeavors. And they're on so many of the committees of the resources that I showed you today, just to make sure that we're getting it out to the field and we have that technical support when we're creating things. So a special thank you right now to Sarah Stalker for all her work that she does with us. We really appreciate you, Sarah. So I'm going to move on to a few more resources. I have about 10 more slides. So then the next grouping I did was digital skills. And digital skills is a wide ranging topic, but you'll get my point when you see what I've put here for you that was created this year. Also, anything that you find from that I've noted on Community Literacy of Ontario. So this is my third slide with information from them. They have posted all the links to their information on their news page, and there's a link to the news page here at the top of this slide. So they did some work around popular digital learning resources, success stories of how people are incorporating digital literacy into their programming, and how to support learners who have barriers. I couldn't get the full name in the live links that are here, but all of those resources are really good for everybody. All these resources are great for all of us to use. So you'll find that information. And just to reiterate, all of the information that most of the information that I have here in the resource I've showed you so far are all free. As Robin said, they were funded through our own business plan and funding that we received from the Ministry of Labor Training and Skills Development. I want to take a second to answer, is it Ravenna? She was asking about accessible soft skills, and I went into the chat while Robin was talking. And I wanted to say to you, yes, there are some soft skill courses. Simcoe Muskoka Workforce Development Board has a course called Soft Skills Solutions, but I think you may have to pay for it to get to use it. And then probably programs in different areas have incorporated some of their own, but I don't have any that were created this year that are free other than the one that I mentioned earlier from Summer Burton from the Literacy Link South Central. So I don't have a link to them, but maybe if a program has created a soft skills workshop that they would like to share, they could pop up that information or send it directly to Ravanna in the chat. Okay, this is another tool that Quill worked on this year. It's a promotional tool, but it's promoting the digital skills needed for entry-level jobs in 8 different sectors. And so we worked with Simcoe Muskoka Literacy Network to discuss with our employment service providers and to talk to employers about what digital skills are your staff using when they come into your workplace. And then we created a promotional toolkit. So it has a listing, it has a group of pictures that you can use so that you could take the pictures that we have there and you could put them on your Facebook page or market them in your social media to say, oh, we help people with keyboarding, or we help people to learn how to use their cell phones better, or punch clocks and stuff like that. So one of the employers said that now all of their employees, because of COVID, have to submit their health forms. You know, when they're getting their refunds for any of their medical expenses that are in their benefit packages, they have to do that all online now, and they have to do it from their phones or from a computer. So you could teach people how to fill in forms and then submit them. So we have this digital skills promotion toolkit. It's on the Quill website, and it's all of the pictures that we have used in it are approved to be able to use for free on social media. So that's what we worked on this year. I'm going to get ahead of myself. And then digital skills. Summer Burton at the beginning of the year last year, when we got into COVID, delivered some workshops on Zoom, hosting it and preparing to present it. So those are 2 webinars that you could watch if you need to help a new staff member or learners that are going to be using Zoom. So she's done it, very easy to listen to, a great workshop that they put on. So another way of improving our digital skills. And she included this learning activities for the local jobs hub in the information that she sent to me. It's more it's based on her area in the London area, but it's a series of 20 activities developed to help people learn how to navigate the local jobs hub. Well, while it's a tool, the tool is specific to Elgin, Middlesex, and Oxford region. There are tools based on the same platform, which work exactly the same way across the province. They're just branded differently. So you might be able to go in and gather some information from this tool that you can be able to use in your own area. When it comes to training, all of the information for the pop-up PD for LBS is at the link here, and you can look at all of the webinars that we've had since 2015. They're all there, and you can go back and look at any one of them, all the resources that were included with any of those webinars. I like doing resource ones. So we did one last year, 2 years ago, on apprenticeship resources. And so the webinar is there with all live links to apprenticeship resources. But it's also included in the compendium that Mid-North Network put together. So But any other information, any webinars you want to watch, or if you've seen something in the past where you wanted maybe your learners to sit in onto the apprenticeship one where we had journey workers come in and talk about their pathway to through apprenticeship. Maybe you want your learners to sit in and listen to it. You'll find them all at this website. Quill also has task-based activities for LBS that we created a number of years ago, and I'm going to try and we just coming this year, and it started last year, but it's going to be finished up this year. I'm going to take you in to have a look at it. Let's pray this works. Okay, so on the website, we had Word and PDF documents that were available for you to use with your learners, but that worked really well in a face-to-face environment. This year, what we did, Literacy Link South Central was putting in for a job creation participant project, and they were going to digitize tasks for some of the programs in their areas. And I asked them if they would help us in creating fillable PDFs that could be given to a learner or a Google form. It says Google Docs, but it's actually a Google form. So you can go in. Now, this is the first one that we have on because we're just in the process of getting them updated and putting them onto the site. But you can go in and these are fillable forms that you can send to your learner to try out this task-based activity. Or if you wanted them to do a Google form, you will copy the form into your own Google Drive, and then you can send them a link to it. And then when they respond to it, you get the answer key. So it's there for you to use. So this will be going on for this year, and Heather will be directing getting them on the site as we get them ready. So I'm really excited that that's available because these are great assessment tools that have been around for a while, and it's nice to have them updated. Also, we have.
Sorry, Deb, I just wanted to jump in there to say, we are going to be trying to upload those as they become available and done so that you can at least have access to some of the digital activities rather than waiting till they're all uploaded.
That's right. And we do have some tasks that were interactive. I called them digitized tasks years ago. And that comment is on our front page, but they're actually interactive. And they had Flash on them. And so Heather has gotten them all updated. So we're going to upload the new ones as soon as possible. We've been busy transitioning between the past and the present executive directors. So over the summer, I'm sure you will find those on the website. So
I was just going to say, please be patient with us because there are, as we add these new activities, there's a number of other features that we will have to update to accommodate them. One of those being our search terms that we're using, because now that we're adding additional digitized tasks rather than the original 20, we're going to have to identify those differently. So just bear with us. If you're having any problems with the site, do let us know so that there might be some issues that we're not aware of, but yeah.
We really appreciate that. I want to thank Literacy Link South Central for helping in this area, but also Lisa MacArthur at the Literacy Group. She was the one who really supported us in looking at how we could make fillable forms and how we could use Google Forms. And so we really appreciate Lisa and Chris Prosser and all the staff at the Literacy Group who sort of jumped on this and then told us what they were doing. And we said, well, why don't we do it for all 500 and some task-based activities that we have for the website. So bear with us and we should have those up and ready for you soon. Last year, a number of the networks and support orgs got together and decided to do a mental health campaign in September. We knew that everybody was really struggling and suffering with COVID, and And so we thought, like, let's tell everybody about resources that are available that you could share with your learners or with your practitioners, with your family, with your friends. And so we did a campaign for 21 days in September, and we had a hashtag, Reach Out for Mental Health, and we had it, we put it in all of our social media and, Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, etc. So if you're looking for something that you want to put up on your social media page that you're not looking, and you might have, like, I know you can post things and have them set up so that they can be, um, calendared for later on in the year. You could go in here and take some of the information that we have and share it, some of the general information that we have, and share it on your own social media pages. So feel free to do that and share that out with the field. I included the resources from Turtleback Publishing. The Ontario Native Literacy Coalition is the organizes and directs that. They have some really neat resources on it, but I want you to know that all of the resources on Turtleback Publishing you have to pay for. So there is a fee for them. But if you go in and check out what they have, you can see that they have some really neat apprenticeship stuff. They have curriculum for different, like this one is customer service training, but they have different curriculum. You might have some learners who are Indigenous in your program and you want to get some workbooks for them. All of this is here at Turtleback Publishing. So I really appreciate that ONLC is taking care of this and ensuring that this field has resources that they can use. And this link goes to their to order the resources. So you can go through and then look through them. And I only picked out these 4, but there's many, many, many more that you can use. Also, I've mentioned COFA a couple of times today, but they have translated many of the resources that from English into French for our Francophone stream. And I screen captured a page of the translated resources. And you'll see at the very bottom of the screen capture are the tip sheets that we did from We're All in This Together. But all of these resources are on a page. You can just open them up so our Francophone partners can look at them and they have them available. So even though it's been created in English, they have translated them into French. And when they translate, they have translated the pop-up PD webinars. They often will go in and find the French equivalent to a resource so that the French stream has a resource that's very similar to what we might have in the English stream if it hasn't been translated yet. So I hope that those uh, colleagues of ours who are in the Francophone stream, I know they're probably very well aware of this. Celine told me that she recently did a webinar very similar to this about these resources that are available. So, but I think it's great that we're making sure that all streams have accessibility to these resources that are being created throughout the field. And also COFA has resource published that they publish themselves, webinars that they have, resources available at the COFA website, the recordings to any of their sharing community meetings. These are the links to all of that at the COFA website. And I want to, as I said, our secret partner who's kind of hiding behind us all is the Contact North, and they did do a research report last year on the performance measures of online programs, and so we have a link to that. But they also have Adobe Connect Help site in English and French, a link to that piece, and resources for Zoom. So if you are a host of Zoom, there's resources there in English and in French, or if you have participants, you can go in and access some of the resources that they have in there. So I've listed them both for the French and English, and I want to thank Contact North for all their support in that area. And I have to promote the Learning Networks of Ontario and our website. And I just want to take you briefly for a very brief tour of it. Here it is, the Learning Networks of Ontario. And show you that if you look under resources and publications, you will see a listing there. And I can't see it on my screen. Let me see if I pull this down. Okay. You will see that the pop-up PD for literacy educators, if you go in here to this link, you will see all of the information for pop-up PD. So this is another place that you can register for it. I know that all of our colleagues in these support organizations and networks are sending out the information about pop-up PD, but if you're looking for it, and we will be starting another series starting in September, but there's a link for that. And I mentioned earlier that Tri-County Literacy Network was involved in a Grow Your Workforce conference, and we created this workforce page of information. It's very brief, but it has information for Western region, and this video that Tri-County put together is a great video to talk about how workplace literacy helps employees and helps our learners. That's my collection of resources that that were new for last year. I hope that you've enjoyed going through them. As I said, I'm not an expert, but all of these links are live, and you will be getting, because you registered, you will be getting an email from Sarah Stalker sometime next week, and it will have the PowerPoint with it that you can then go in and have it and check out all the links yourself. If anyone has posted anything in the chat about resources that they would be willing to share, they will also be in there. So we will do we'll clean up the chat and post it also on at the same place as this. As with every other year, we always have we hired Vicki Trottier to do the transcription. So she listens to me. She's going to listen to me. And I worked for Vicki 30 years ago when I started in the literacy field. She's going to have to listen to me and transcribe all of this. And we send it to COFA, and then they will translate it. So that's how we try to make sure that the whole field is aware of all the information that we deliver. So there's the webinars resources list. Sarah will have put up, I think, an evaluation. We always need to do an evaluation because this is a business plan deliverable. So I appreciate if you would check in and look at that evaluation and answer it. We have future webinars coming up. In September, Robin is going to come back, and she's going to be talking about some CAMS report. And then we are going to be talking about essential skills has now become skills for success. And we're Robin and Barb Glass will be talking about that in October. We're going to be doing some information on workforce and workplace and micro-credentialing. So it's very much related to the workplace and workforce. This year, that's the theme, and that was the response that we got from the 100 people who responded to our survey. We have a great panel in January of LBS, 3 LBS programs that have actually done workplace literacy, and they're going to tell us how they did it and what they did. So we're looking forward to a great year ahead of us. Our marketing material will come out at the end of August so that you can register for the next 5 webinars for the series that we have for 21-22. So with that, this is the end of my presentation, but I wondered, Heather, are there any questions in the chat?
No. Well, there's been a side discussion going on. And everybody's enthusiastic about the resources that were shared and about the repository where they can access and find these resources. Yeah, but no specific questions that we haven't been able to answer in the chat. So maybe just a last call for questions, your last opportunity. Anybody?
I should also say, oh, sorry. Okay, Sarah, go ahead.
My apologies. It's Sarah Stalker. I just wanted to amend one comment that was made. We will not be emailing the presentation, but it will be posted next
Oh.
week on at the URL that Deb has posted.
I
Emailing
apologize.
the presentations has sometimes caused some issues for recipients and mailboxes. So
Okay.
that's how you will receive it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that. Okay. So not seeing any questions from anyone. I'm sure you know all of us here that were online today, Robin, myself, Heather, and Sarah. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us. And we look forward to seeing you in September with the rest of our webinar series. I want to thank our interpreters for today, for Heather for watching the chat, Robin for taking us through that website, and Sarah for being our tech support, keeping us all moving forward. We really appreciate it. Okay. Oh, I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. Everyone's leaving now. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great weekend. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Sarah, have you stopped the recording? Yes, I think Sarah is gone. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, Heather became the. Heather, do you want to stop the recording? Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.